Potter.
Harry Potter.
Hi, Harry.
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 Harry Potter.
Mr. Potter. You're a wizard, Harry.
What's going on, everybody? Now, before I get started, I do want to address the attire. I know usually I'm sitting here in a Batman shirt or whatever, but it's the week of Thanksgiving, so I decided to get a little bit dressed up, look a little bit snazzy, just for you guys. And yeah, it might look a little ridiculous, but it's not like this is going on the internet or anything. So, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. A return to the wizarding world. Well, actually, I guess it's our world with witches and wizards in it. But if it focuses on the witches and wizards, is it a wizarding world? Well, you get the point. The year is 1926, and Newt Scamander, played by Eddie Redmayne in the film, arrives in New York from London in search of purchasing a magical beast. Now, he spent years collecting and documenting these fantastical beasts in hopes of spreading a better understanding of them. He just so happens to keep these creatures in his suitcase. And one day he ends up bumping into a no-mage, or a non-magical person, aka a muggle, aka you or me, and that person just happens to be Kowalski, played by Dan Fogler. Well, they end up switching suitcases, and long story short, Kowalski unleashes the beasts in the city. And Newt runs around basically trying to find them, collect them, put them back in the suitcase, and he's joined in his search by Tina, a magical investigator, played by Catherine Waterston in the film. And at the same time, while this is going on, the Magical Congress is cracking down on witches and wizards, trying to make sure that everybody is keeping their identities safe from the muggles. And also at the same time, there's this anti-wizarding activist group that is seeking to destroy the magical world. Whew! So obviously there's a lot going on in this film, and there's rarely a dull moment in the movie. It clocks in at just over 2 hours, which is shorter than any of the Harry Potter films, so this story moves along at a pretty brisk pace. I just want to say right away that the visuals in this film are pretty darn good. I love the recreation of 1926 New York. It looks fantastic, as do the scenes inside Newt's suitcase when we get to see and meet a lot of the creatures that he has in his suitcase. That just sounds weird to even say, but they all have like their own little homes or habitats inside his suitcase, and those scenes are easily some of the best in the film. One thing I thought was kind of interesting about this movie is that the story, to me, feels darker than any of the Harry Potter films and or books. This story has themes of discrimination, child abuse, and death, and it's all handled very maturely. And I'm not looking at that as a negative. I like that. Maybe I'm a little bit twisted, but I don't like 2 hours of just straight up puppy dogs and rainbows. I actually appreciated that this movie added some darker tones. It gave it a little bit more depth, but I will say that walking into the film, I was thinking, oh, Fantastical Beasts, it's, more of a kid's movie, right? Right? Oh my goodness, where's this movie going? Okay, so this movie goes places I really wasn't expecting it to. Now, as with most people, I was pretty impressed with Eddie Redmayne as Newt Scamander. I thought he fit the role perfectly. I thought he did a really good job. He was very intriguing and kind of mysterious. But I do want to give a special shout out to Dan Fogler for absolutely surprising me with his performance as Kowalski. He almost steals every scene he's in. And I don't have a lot of experience with his other movies. I've seen Fanboys, I've seen Balls of Fury, but this was like the first time I really saw him in a film where he has some depth, and I actually kind of liked and cared about him and his character. And also I do love the on-screen chemistry between him and Alison Sudol's Queenie. Their relationship in the film really works, their chemistry on screen really works, and I really enjoyed it. One negative for me would be the character of Tina, Catherine Waterston's character. I didn't really care for her at all. That sounds pretty bad when I say that, but I'm just being honest. She felt very one note, and it almost seemed like the movie didn't really need her, and that sounds even worse. So I'm just going to stop talking about her, and I'll move on to Colin Farrell as Percival Graves, because I thought, he's Colin Farrell. He did a really good job with his performance, and I don't want to talk about his character too much. He's kind of this head magical investigator, and if I talk too much about him, it'll ruin some of the aspects of the film, so I don't want to spend too much time there, but he did a really good job. And overall, the cast as a whole really worked. Probably not the same as with the Harry Potter films, but that to me was more of a magical ensemble that they put together for the Harry Potter films, and you're not always going to get that. They were pretty fortunate to have the cast that they had for the Harry Potter films, and you're not going to be able to always recreate that. But I did like this cast, and all the performances were pretty good, except for the character of Tina. Why was she there? Doesn't make sense. What was she doing? Moving on. So I do have one major gripe with the film. Well, maybe not necessarily major, but it is an important issue that I do have with the movie. Now, I'm one of those people who feels that the ending of any movie is one of the most important aspects. It's one of the last things you see. It's one of the last things you remember about the film. And so the ending of this movie doesn't really work for me. There's a big surprise that comes at the end, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but it just doesn't work for me. And so I have this issue, and it could have easily been resolved. Just a little narration, some backstory. You gotta give me something. Otherwise, it doesn't work. And it didn't. Not for me. All in all, though, I did enjoy this movie. I love the blending of the darker tones with the magic and the humor. I enjoyed the subplots with the magical congress and the activist group. And it was fun. It was a fun time at the theater. It's a good movie. I'm going to end up owning it one day. And it was definitely nice to return to the Wizarding World. And I do recommend this movie. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a B+. Now, I can't say I was blown away by this movie, but I did like it. I did enjoy it. And I'm not going to lie, I was sitting there in the theater and it got dark and the Warner Brothers logo popped up and I heard that little Harry Potter theme. You know which one I'm talking about. And it gave me goosebumps. Yeah. Because that's how I roll. All sentimental and whatnot. And oh, shut up. It probably gave you goosebumps too. And that's all I've got, guys. And I definitely recommend this movie. It's a fun, exciting return to the Wizarding World. And yeah, if you like this video, hit that like button. And if you want to see more movie reviews, hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, it's the week of Thanksgiving. So please take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Eat till you explode. Enjoy the time with family, friends, whoever. Watch some football. Do whatever it is that you do. Just have an awesome time. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Cool.